Hey, hi, hello, and welcome to the Brass Bull DevLog series. My name is Darius, and I'm a game design student at the University of Applied Sciences Berlin, and I'm currently in a bit of a weird spot. I am in my 5th semester, and usually I should be in a mandatory internship at the moment, but since I already worked for roughly 3 years as a 3D modeler for a subcontractor of Volkswagen, I was given the option to basically do what I want for half a year, and well, that's why I'm recording this video. I want to use this time to work on a personal project and create a bit of a presence online. And I just sometimes struggle to get stuff done, and that's why I think imagining an audience out there to hold me accountable helps me keep my motivation up. And just to keep the expectations in check here, I'm aiming to produce a very simple prototype. I do have ideas to expand the scope of the game, but first and foremost I just want to get the core mechanics down. I am only one person and I want to work roughly 33 hours per week on the game. I also planned in like 5 hours per week to work on the videos, and I also have a mini job that I need to work at least 6 hours per week just to keep the lights on. Overall, I'd say I'm a pretty average game design student with a focus on the technical and narrative side of things, and I am pretty bad at sketching and drawing. So, with all of that out of the way, may I introduce Brass Bull, my minimalist mech game concept. I feel it's kinda hard to explain this from scratch, so let me start with one of my inspirations. So I found this video from Battlefield 1 showcasing rare animations, and in between there was a clip of one player just switching positions in the bomber plane. Wait, let me pull that up here. And I just really liked it. I think it's really atmospheric and, you know, maybe you could make a game out of this. And then I pitched this idea with the mech instead of a plane as our 3rd semester project and got rejected, which was probably for the best. We learned a whole lot in that half a year about programming, modeling, game cameras and optimizations, usually in the hard way. And having to deal with animations on top of that might have broken our backs back then. Well, but now I'm here. And I want to show you the little presentation I made to pitch the game to my professor. So the game's premise is that you are Johanna, or that's her working name anyway, and you're inside this old mech robot thing. And since you are alone in that machine, you constantly have to switch between the cockpit and the turrets to either steer the whole thing out of danger or into a favorable position, or to fire at approaching enemies. To keep the pressure on the player, I also want the mech to be unable to stop. And furthermore, you can only steer it like a car, so there's no strafing or any other quick maneuvers. I want the game to focus on this constant decision making between fighting and navigation. For that reason, I want to create environmental hazards and limit the turret's angles at which they can fire. And this slide also talks about voice protagonist, and that is something that I would really love to implement, to tell a little story with the game, but I think I have to keep that on the back burner for now. So, in trying to keep things as minimalist as possible, I also wanted the controls to be as simple as can be. And I reckon that all I really need is an input for steering and aiming, like a mouse or analog stick, and a button to switch between positions. Firing could be handled automatically to further highlight the jankiness of the mech, but I'm not too sure on that one, to be honest. Also, in talking with my prof, we already discussed splitting the turrets to one on each side of the mech, and I probably also want a dedicated repair button instead of an auto here, so yeah, that might get a bit more complicated than this. I think this is something I need to work out while actually working on the game itself and not in planning. I also created this visualization of the gameplay loop to get an overview of the fundamental mechanics and how I want them to interact with each other. Putting survival there as a centerpiece feels a bit self-indulgent, as not dying is kind of an obvious goal in most games, but I thought it might help here, because I want the game to be challenging through this ongoing problem of navigation and combat. In regards to the look of the game, I want to go for a rough approximation of late 90s, early 2000s 3D games. And there is no need to sugarcoat. I mostly want to do this to be able to produce assets more quickly. If I even have the time to go from greyboxing my level to actually designing it, I have to be able to make quick and dirty models to get anywhere in time, I think. Especially since I really want to get to animating the mech and the protagonist inside it. I do have ideas for the world and the style outlined in some really vague bullet points for now, but this is something I really don't want to worry about too much for now, as the technical side of things is probably going to dominate most of my time. Only one thing is for sure, and that is the time of year in game: winter. Why winter? Well, let's just say it's more efficient, I guess. The last few slides here touch upon environmental hazards like lava pools and pits, ideas for enemies that I'm going to substitute for some really basic floating orbs until I have the mech down, and my idea to document the whole thing. And that's it for now. Tomorrow I'm trying to get myself a working space in our uni and set up the Unreal project. My first goal is to rework the first person template to approximate the mech and try to get the position switching to work. I'll hope I catch you next Sunday, and until then, have a great week. Hey, Outro Darius here. Just wanted to say that I didn't plan on this video to be anonymous for now, but I'm just really feeling under the weather today, so I guess face reveal next time. Until then, bye!